Welcome back to the news, everybody. Today it is quite a fun time because, well, some of Blizzard's exes have released a game. And around the same time, Blizzard have put some monetization into Hearthstone that has led to the number $2,750 featuring in today's story. It's funny stuff. So here's the deal, right? Ben Brode and Hamilton Chu went and founded a studio called Second Dinner. They were, Ben Brode was like the face of Hearthstone, right? And it's been an interesting time for Hearthstone where we really have seen them just tighten the screw when it comes to monetization over the last while. So what we're basically seeing is from the people who kind of like helped make Hearthstone, the big new thing. Now, with Marvel Snap, which is the game we're talking about today from Second Dinner, it initially in its beta had some pay-to-win monetization concerns. We covered that on the channel, and the good news is that they actually did veer away from that. They did respond to the community feedback. And today, we actually get to talk about how this game is done and how Blizzard have effectively responded to it. In the first week, the game generated $2.42 million, averaging $330,000 a day, with an average revenue per download of $0.56 and 5.9 million downloads after that first week. So there you go. It's a bit of a look at what mobile games sort of like finance and numbers is like. But what I would say is these are first week numbers. So we've learned a little bit about whaling. Right? Way going back to, of course, our good friend Tyrol Fjordstrom and all that jazz. But the deal with, going whaling is, as times went on, basically the average amount of time before a whale gets hooked has actually increased and increased. So the way to analyze revenue from a game like this is almost a cohort analysis. So you want to look at people, in their first week, how much do they spend in their second week, or their third week, and nowadays we're actually seeing them in the third and fourth week. That's when people actually start to spend. So, if these numbers looked a little bit small to you, don't worry, the money will come in. Now, this is obviously not recouped the $30 million that NetEase invested in Second Dinner for this, but I think we can see, if in the first week they've basically recouped 10%, I feel like in the fullness of time, assuming this game is able to solidify a core fan base, they will be just fine. And the good news, actually, because at the end of the day, what both me and Matt, who's not here today, and you as well, want is we want good games to go out into the market that are monetized fairly so that the publisher who funded it is happy, the developer who's made it is happy, and the customer who plays it is happy, because that is the best of all worlds, and that is what we call sustainable. So with Marvel Snap, we're actually seeing, basically a lot of praise for the design of the game and minimal criticism, right? To quickly cover some highlights from the press, which we like to do here because it helps to set the tone of the sort of broader narrative of a game. You can forget Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering Arena because Marvel Snap delivers the sort of quick dopamine hit that genre titans could never. Quick game, simple rules, deep strategy. It's the CCG trifecta, designed for a generation of players too distracted to keep track of an overly complicated metagame. Okay, so this is very good news, or very good, review, but also with a very, very true criticism of, oh dear, modern gaming. TikTok generation. All right, next from The Gamer. Highly polished, impeccably designed, the perfect on-the-go game, my favorite CCG right now. Reaches for your comics, nostalgia, and brand recognition more than your wallet. And that's the thing, it's a 6-turn game. That's kind of crazy. Honestly, I've only played 45 minutes of it. What I will say is my first impressions are very positive. This is a well-designed, super deep card game. One of the things that I appreciate the most in game design is when a small amount of things can produce a lot of results, right? Because when you nail that, that's the definition of kind of easy to learn, hard to master. When it's the emergent complexity of a small number of components. So it is, in a way, a very simple to describe game, right? So you've got 12 cards, right? And then each one of those cards, when you play it, obviously there's an energy that, that you have to spend. You get that energy over time. Each card can then be placed on one location on the board with up to 4 cards at each location. And whoever has the most power at each location will win. So it's a very, very simple design, right? The strategy is straightforward, plays out maybe 3 to 5 minutes for a game. I think that can be quite good because if you have a bad game, you can immediately hop back into one and have another stab at it. Of course, all of Marvel theming, it's like not something I have much of an attachment to from my childhood, but from everything that I've seen, they've absolutely nailed the Marvel theming too. And to give you a look at the sorts of strategies that people will be enacting, here's just a little example that we threw together, right? So let's say you play the Devil Dinosaur on turn 5. Now that card costs 5 energy and only has 3 power, but he has an ongoing ability which is to add +2 for each card that is in your hand. On turn 6, you then play his comics partner, Moon Girl, on another location. Now her 4 power will be useful to you, but on reveal, you duplicate the cards in your hand, which then will massively boost your Devil Dinosaur. So it's all of that basically internal deck strategy. The fact that you only have 12 cards and the way that the energy limits are done actually means that the meta is not really a mega chore. You can build a fairly targeted deck. I mean, honestly, man, I just love a simple, elegant design. I really do. And the way that this game plays out, like, it feels goddamn good. And then we got to talk about meta busting. Right? Because, well, managing the meta is obviously a part of games, right? So, to help with this is locations. So, each of the 3 locations will influence the game, right? And, we can see the different locations here. We've got Savage Land. Add 2 raptors in each side on this location. You can immediately see how that could synergize with cards. We've got Central Park. Add a squirrel to each location, which puts a squirrel card in. And then Atlantis. If you have only 1 card here, it has +5 power. So you can see that with the different locations that you're dealing with, it's going to play in with your deck strategy. This is a bloody well-designed game, right? Like, you do just have to give it to him. Well done. Now, you've seen some simple buffs and debuffs there. There are more complex ones, like all cards having to be played at the same location on certain turns. And then there's truly weird things. Here's one. District X will exchange your deck for 10 random cards, or Ego the Living Planet, who just plays the game as an AI for you and your opponent. Because, hey, let's do dumb shit. It's fun, right? And these are locations that are revealed over the first 3 turns. And that just kind of means that whatever locations you get, that can mix up the strategy. And I suppose that will help from the kind of meta busting, right, potential. Because let's just say a meta emerges, but you have no strategy depending on what districts what locations you get. Well, if those locations are a bit more random, then that does help to, I guess, always disrupt meta stuff. Now, obviously, some form of meta will form, all of that, but, they've broadly done a pretty damn good job there. The praise is understandable, but now, of course, you've got to talk about the money, which is especially important considering we were a little bit worried about that per our past coverage. So, you know what? Paul Tassi put it well. I was shocked to learn that Marvel Snap, as a mobile-based card battler, was not doing gacha card packs at all. And that's the thing. Often in mobile games, you basically have to, get items, get cards, and then get duplicates of them, and then you merge the duplicates together. And that is how they do the monetization, right? Which means it gets inordinately expensive. Or you end up in a gacha game system where, you're doing gacha pools, and you're almost sitting there relying on the pity system. Or, it's like Diablo Immortal and Legendary Gems, in which case you just get fucked into oblivion. Cheers, Diablo. Nor does it squeeze in other annoying mobile mechanics, like a recharging energy timer to play matches, or anything like that. The game is laser focused on being as addicting as possible without needing to feed your wallet. All cards are earned through gameplay, a lengthy grind, but one many players will be happy to take because of how fun the core game is. Cards earned through gameplay, right? So to dive in, right, you can see, hey, it's a mobile game. This is obviously what mobile monetization looks like. I mean, it's also available on PC, so there's that too. So you got that, you got your daily offers, and then, of course, you have your collection levels. So basically, as you progress, you're just given stuff like, 25 credits, 5 boosters, stuff like that. So to actually break this down and explain it, okay? Gold is used to purchase variant versions of cards. So put a pin in that. Variant versions, we'll come back to those. and also to purchase credits for the upgrading of those cards, which will visually improve the cards and advance the player's collection rating, which then in turn will give you new cards and upgrade materials. Now, one variant costs $8.99, that's in British pounds, from the rotating shop selection, and it can be upgraded afterwards to further increase your collection level, which will allow access to more cards and upgrade materials. Now, you will actually eventually get variants randomly through the Battle Pass and the collection level progression system. Now, gold does appear on the free Battle Pass track and on the weekly rewards. Of course, there was the Nexus event system, which is what we covered over the summer. Basically, they were incredibly unfavorable loot boxes disguised as events, right? The only meaningful reward was one new card. The whole thing basically kind of sucked. Now, the team at Second Dinner then have tried to distance themselves as much as they can from the play-to-win stuff, where basically every item that is purchasable is either cosmetic or it's the Battle Pass, which contains one new card that is immediately granted from the first tier. Now, that does mean, as an example, like right now, Miles Morales is like paywalled behind buying the premium pass, but when you buy the pass, you get him immediately. So you actually do get that thing instead of purchasing the potential of earning that thing, which is better. And per the current strategy, he will only be added into the freely available card pool in 2 seasons' time. So if you want the earliest access to like the bleeding edge of that stuff, yeah, it's on the premium pass. Now, to be honest with you, I think it is reasonable to expect to put some money into a game. The developers did go and make the bloody thing. But what we want to see is a fair exchange in value. We don't want to see bullshit. We don't want to see gacha bullshit, especially, right? Like, look, with Diablo Immortal, if they would just say, oh, right, you know, here's the game, buy a battle pass, that's that. And, you know, some mild other cosmetic purchase or whatever, I would have been fine for that. But it's the fact that they went into the nightmare hellscape of the gacha with the gems. That's what got it for me. Whereas here, we're not really seeing that. And that overall is leading to this game having very favorable initial impressions. And look, it's pretty fair as far as mobile game monetization goes. I mean, certainly compared to Hearthstone. Speaking of which, let's talk about the latest business innovation from Blizzard Entertainment. All right, so they announced the March of the Lich King expansion. That comes, only a few weeks after Marvel Snap. Got a new class and the Death Knight. There's some new minion type, new keywords, kind of the usual stuff. But it does have something that is a little similar to Marvel Snap, which is, oh boy, signature cards. Ooh, look at these. How fun. So here's how Blizzard describes it, right? Signature is a new cosmetic quality of cards that they can have, right? So like a golden card or a diamond card with stylized full art images. For March of the Lich King, the signature cards will feature an icy sepia style evoking the Lich King's powers over frost and the undead. The art style of signature cards within each expansion will match their expansion style. I mean, wow. The cosmetics will be thematically consistent with the expansion they're being added in. This is never before seen in gaming. Thematic consistency. Incredible. And the card frame for the signature cards might change from time to time. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm going to make an optional purchase immediately. Signature cards cannot be crafted or disenchanted. They can only be opened in packs or earned through special means. There's a total of 18 cards coming with the launch of March of the Lich King, including 15 legendaries. 2 of the legendaries will be available on the Tavern Pass, and the 3 non-legendary cards will be earnable for free as a part of the expansion launch. So basically, these are functionally like the variant cards in Second Dinner's game, right? But the difference is, instead of it just being like, oh, boom, you get the thing, now it's existing within the card packs, because that's the only way to get them. And this also means that now there's something else on top of the existing highest rarity that exists for cards, purely for a cosmetic little side grade. So here's where the numbers get awesome, right? You can purchase, on average, 181 normal packs to get a signature legendary card, which is the same percentage chance as getting a golden legendary card. Or you can go and purchase golden signature packs, which means you'll be looking at an average of 7 packs to get the signature legendary card, or 20 for golden legendary cards. So it's a new monetization thing built upon the old delicious foundations. This is basically there for the card collectors, right? Or, people who filled out their collections and just need a slightly different variant of something to buy. For some reason, the costs are so silly. These also cannot be crafted, right? So you literally cannot get these without just engaging in the monetization system. And dupe protection won't help here, because it won't allow you to eventually get the cards you want by, generating the crafting materials, because you can't craft them, right? I mean, here's just a great video from Old Guardian working out, the cost of these cards. This is so mad. So in order to acquire the first 13 signature legendary cards, 2,353 regular packs, which will cost you $2,750. 91 signature gold packs, which will cost you $300. Now, this is built upon an assumption, right? Because the signature golden packs will be replacing golden packs. So because obviously the value increases, if those signature golden packs end up being more expensive, that will also change things. Now, we did also point out that if you purchase the bundle for the cards, the total cost goes down to $240 to $220. Now, look, none of this is pay to win. This is only cosmetics. It's achievable by getting the card packs. But the point basically is, it feels shitty. It feels shitty, and Marvel Snap's doing a similar thing in a more fair way, and that's just the story of things with Hearthstone. We had the whole, buy the premium thing to get a higher win rate effectively because you got more options in Battlegrounds, which, the impact of that will depend on Blizzard achieving balance in the game, but obviously that's the kind of thing that can be a bit of a struggle, so that was messy. We had the whole debacle where they tried to sell you a Diamond Drakthar, and it was stupidly expensive, and they ended up pulling that plan, but you can see with Hearthstone, a team that is just flopping about like a fish out of water, just and every time it flops, a little splash of monetization goes and hits you in the face. Because that's what they're doing. They're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. And it really is a shame, because Hearthstone, I still think, is a very fun game, made by very strong designers with awesome gameplay, right? I totally think all of that. And for a long time, they were like holding up the Warcraft banner, because some of their in-game content felt more Warcraft than the World of Warcraft content. But you just see. I mean, I don't know what this is. I don't know if Activision say, or, Activision. Perhaps there's somebody at Blizzard who hey, we need to make the Hearthstone numbers go up because they're going down. Quickly, devise a new way to earn money for us. And, somebody has to go and do that. But for whatever reason, it is just a funny little comparison. To end this video then, if you want to play a genuinely fun card game, which, who doesn't? Card games are awesome. Well, Marvel Snap is a really, really good option that you should consider. It has significantly more fair monetization than other games in the market, so it's cheaper to get into. Its games are lasting, a duration of time that's perfect if you're waiting for the bus or anything like that, which, sometimes it's nice to be alone with your own thoughts, but sometimes maybe you just want to play a game on your phone, and I think this is an absolutely brilliant option for that. They've actually made a damn good little game, so hats off to them, and hats off to them as well for responding to the player feedback when it came to the Nexus events, doing better, and now they are reaping the benefits of that, which is a game that is being well praised by the press. And I know Paul Tassi is not one to pull punches, right, in his articles. If there's bullshit, he's going to call the bullshit out, and we see here even the sorts like Paul, maybe like us, who will absolutely hammer companies over monetization. This game could have been so much worse. It is, in fact, not bad in terms of monetization. So, yeah, there you go. That's the news. Marvel Snap, big damn success. One that can be contrasted with Blizzard's latest attempt to get a bit more money out of Hearthstone players. What a shame. Anyway, that's it. There's a good new game for us all to play. I hope you found today's video interesting, and hey, maybe you'll check the game out and have some fun. Wouldn't that be a win-win for everybody? Have a great day. See you next time.